Imagine waking up to a city devoid of essential goods. That's the chilling reality New Yorkers faced. The Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, suddenly found itself in a state of crisis. This wasn't just about the hustle and bustle of city life coming to a standstill. It was about a city grappling with the sudden absence of life's necessities. The genesis of this crisis? A hefty fine of $64 million levied against former President Donald Trump, a fine that his legal team is scrambling to address. They have until the 25th of March to either cough up the cash or secure a bond from a private company. But so far, their efforts seem to be falling flat. Enter Chicago Ray. This conservative social media influencer and truck driver didn't just watch the events unfold. He decided to take action. He rallied his fellow truckers, urging them to boycott deliveries to New York City. It was a potent protest against the court's decision, a stand of solidarity with Trump. And Trump himself wasn't silent. He threw his weight behind these truckers, lauding them as great patriots. His criticism of President Joe Biden's use of law enforcement was sharp and vocal. The truckers' boycott wasn't just a protest, it was a statement, a loud and clear demonstration of support for Trump and a critique of the current administration. As the news of the boycott spread, the city's pulse began to falter. Trucks, the lifelines that kept the city's heart beating, started to dwindle. The flow of food, medicine, and fuel began to thin out. The city's veins, its supply chains, were being disrupted. With no end in sight, the city braced for the impact of the truckers' boycott. The looming crisis wasn't just about the shortages, it was the beginning of a larger conversation, a dialogue about freedom of expression, democracy, and the very principles upon which America was founded. New York was on the brink of a crisis, but it was also at the center of a pivotal moment in the country's narrative. It was the beginning of a crisis, yes, but it was also the beginning of something more profound. The city that never sleeps was forced into a restless slumber. The truckers' boycott, sparked by the hefty fine levied on former President Trump, sent shockwaves through the bustling streets of New York City. Almost immediately, the city's lifeblood, its supply chains, began to falter. Remember, the trucking industry carries around 70% of all freight transported in the United States. So imagine the consequences when a significant number of these truckers decide to halt their deliveries to one of the country's most populous cities. The effects were felt quickly and deeply. Essential goods, the things we often take for granted, started to dwindle. Grocery store shelves began to empty, the variety of fresh produce shrunk, and canned goods became a rare sight. The city's residents, accustomed to the convenience of 24/7 availability, found themselves facing the harsh reality of scarcity. But it wasn't just food that was in short supply. Medicine, a critical commodity, became harder to come by. Pharmacies reported delays in receiving their usual shipments, leading to anxiety among those dependent on regular medication. And let's not forget about fuel. With fewer deliveries, gas stations started to run low, causing prices to spike and adding another layer of distress to the already tense situation. Beyond the immediate shortages, the city's businesses and industries faced their own set of challenges. Disruptions to their supply chains meant production delays, lost sales, and rising costs. Small businesses, the heart of New York's economy, were hit particularly hard. Already struggling in the wake of the pandemic, the boycott was another blow to their survival. The city's residents, already stretched to their limits, found themselves grappling with these unprecedented challenges. Every day became a question of how to navigate the shortages, how to adapt, and how to endure. But as New Yorkers faced these immediate hardships, another, more insidious issue was brewing. As the city grappled with the shortages, the economic impact began to unfold. An impact that would reach far beyond the city's borders, threatening its standing as a global economic powerhouse. New York, once the financial hub of the world, now stands on shaky ground. The city, which has thrived on the energy of Wall Street and the dynamism of global commerce, is facing a crisis of confidence. A recent Bloomberg News study paints a worrying picture. Since the dawn of 2020, a staggering 158 companies, together managing almost $1 trillion in assets, have packed their bags and left the Big Apple. These companies aren't just any companies. They're financial powerhouses, the kind that create high-paying jobs and contribute heavily to the city's tax coffers. They've relocated their main offices to cities in the southern United States, places like Dallas and Miami. The reasons are many, but the trucker boycott and the legal challenges surrounding a certain former president have undoubtedly played a part. Now imagine the ripple effect of this exodus. Jobs aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They're livelihoods, dreams, and the means to put food on the table. When these jobs vanish, people suffer. The city suffers. Commercial renters lose out as office spaces stand empty. The city's tax revenue takes a hit, which in turn affects public services. Schools, hospitals, infrastructure all feel the pinch. But it's not just about the cold, hard cash. It's about the loss of confidence, the erosion of New York's status as a global financial powerhouse. It's about the message it sends to investors and entrepreneurs worldwide. If New York isn't safe from such turmoil, where is? Yet as we delve deeper into this economic quagmire, we realize that the heart of the crisis isn't just about dollars and cents. It's not solely about boycotts or legal battles. It's about something integral to the fabric of this nation. It's about freedom of expression, the right to voice one's opinion without fear of reprisal. The city's economy is at stake, but the issue at the heart of this crisis runs deeper. And as we move forward, we must remember that this isn't just New York's fight. It's a fight for the very principles upon which this great nation was built. This isn't just about Trump. It's about the foundation of our democracy. These are the words of Tucker Carlson, and they resonate with a profound truth. The trucker boycott and the legal case against Trump symbolize a larger issue that threatens the core of our democratic values, the suppression of differing viewpoints. In a democratic society, it is essential that we maintain an open dialogue and strive for understanding, rather than suppressing voices that challenge the status quo. Freedom of expression is not just a constitutional right. It's the driving force behind the evolution of ideas, the catalyst for progress, and the bedrock of our democracy. When we silence dissent, we risk stagnation and the erosion of the very principles that make America the land of the free. As New York faces an uncertain future, with the loss of investors, companies, and essential goods, it's time for us to reflect on the values we hold dear.